am leaning towards a lot of that stuff. Actually, a lot of the stuff that's bidding up, I mean, I'm leaning towards it's all going to fade. So I hope I'm wrong. I don't think the European side and the Asian side is going to fade, but I do think the other side fades. I'll be back. Good morning, everybody. All right. I gotta make sure, am I on the right mic? Oh, that's interesting. You plug keyboard into it. Oh, that's wrong. Hold on. No, you're right. That's right. You're right. You're good. We're good. Okay, great. All right, we're good. All right. Let's get to it here. All right, so Japan actually came down off these highs and then struck the deal with the US, and now it looks fairly good. Super interesting. I think one of the easiest things here for me looking at the market is I'm very interested in short silver, but we'll get to that. I think the market as a whole has got some real issues here. And I think what you're seeing more than anything, I hate cold coffee. I don't mind when it started cold, but other than that, it drives me nuts. I think one of the things that you're seeing here that's really happening is they're just rallying short positions to squeeze people and then roll them over. And it's a real problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here on the future side of things. And then we're going to go from there. I think you have to watch your levels. I'm just going to pop these in real quick, drop them like they're hot. And then we're going to go to the 4 hour. And I do think you're back over and you're back into this area, which I think is good. And I think that you can trade up on that. I do. I think that there's a possibility that you can get back up in here, but I don't think it's going to happen through tech. That's my opinion of it. But we'll see what happens. I do really like it though. I really do like what I'm saying here from the ES standpoint. And I think you have to look at those sectors, but just keep watching it and make sure that it actually holds. And this actually is a hold so far on that area. So, I'm pretty happy that we're seeing that. One thing you might want to do is just go right there and just right on that low and just drop from there over, make sure we're on the right bar. Doesn't really look like it, does it? So we'll just get rid of that. I mean, all this really tells us is not what to do, but just what's everybody doing? Like, are they worried? Are they not worried? So that off that low, you've hit there, you've held that low, and you're still in that area. So if we break here, the next thing that we would want to watch is how do they act at that 68.54 area? And I really think that if you start your day that way, from a shorter term perspective, that makes a lot of sense. And we'll start there. And then we'll go take a look at the NQ for a moment and drop that in and go from there. I'm really like, the biggest surprise for me on the day is the fact that the New York Times is not absolutely ripping on this news. It's so big. And, whenever I see this stuff and I can't understand it, it just means that I learned after a while, it usually means I'm right, but it just takes much longer for people to get it for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but it's like we stared at SanDisk at $50 and I couldn't remember, I just couldn't figure out why it wasn't moving. Anyway, so if we look at like how this is playing out, I think it's really important to watch these levels, and I'll just draw them in. And you're still on the other side of this, which is, I've seen great before. It's not what great looks like. Like if you're on the other side of this, you almost have to think like, oh boy, I really should be fading a lot of this stuff. And you might want to be there. You might want to be on the fade side of it. I got some really interesting stuff going on today, but I really can't figure that out for the life of me. Let me just keep going through it. 2 to 5. Yeah, you're there. All right, cool. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop you down here and make sure that you're done right. And then we're going to go here. We're going to make sure you're done right. And then what we're going to do is go into the Qs and show you this. And these little areas and how we're acting in those areas. And what I was doing there was this. So, and you can see how you act on those areas. See the difference? how you acted here versus how you acted here versus how you acted here versus how you acted in here. It's very different. And I just don't think people are truly getting that yet. So I think they will, but I don't think people are truly getting that yet. So we're going to have to watch that and really see how that plays out here. But that's where my head is this morning. I think you really got to be very cognizant of that. So if I drop this to a 5 and I go to a bear chart here, let me go to this. We'll leave it here for now. That's where you were yesterday on the 17th. And so you look at this and you realize that you're like rallying back into these levels and everyone's getting all giddy this morning. What should we buy? What should we buy? I don't know. Puts. So you want to watch this like a hawk. You went through it like butter already. And, you know, you just really want to be super careful here. But you're already rejecting there. What you might want to do is just look at the RSI and see what's the RSI telling you. And you're like, oh, you mean you're hitting highs and the RSI is already rolling over? Like it can't get out of bed fast enough? Okay, maybe that's a problem, right? Maybe that's something to pay attention to, but you should do what you're comfortable with. So I'm going to leave that right there. Look at it. Look at it. And I'm going to take questions because there's a billion different names that I could look at here. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why you're doing what you're doing today. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. What are you doing today? And what in God's green earth is today's issue? I hate when the account moves and I can't figure out why. Drives me nuts. Okay. Let's get through. I'm just going to take a bunch of questions. There's so many names to go through. So, yep, let's just start. And we'll cover all of them. So MFG, to me, I think makes a lot of sense longer term. These things are filthy, and that's why I can't see out of them. Hold on. MFG to me makes a lot of sense. And, you know, I guess you came down because, I don't know, like, why are you down? What happened over in Japan? They just signed that huge agreement. I mean, you're down 11%. Like if you were looking for a time to get involved with these names, like this is it. You know, this is very appealing. I don't really get the drop. They're clearly going to change how things are being done over there. That is clearly coming. And I don't really see the problem with stuff like this, where you just buy it and you kind of sit with it. I mean, if you really looked at what this has done year to date, it's done nothing but go up. So I don't really know that you have to do anything with it. The problem with buying this is that you come in one day and you think you're great. And unless you're going to trade in Asia, you come in and then like you're down $1 and you're like, why am I down $1? And then you have to go and try to figure it out. Like unless you have access to global information and stuff like that, you just might want to, you know, you might not want to, you know, to do that. So, but other than that, MUFG probably did the same thing. Similar, right? So take a look here. What's going on with Wingstop? I don't have that one. I wasn't looking at that earlier. Fat Boy needs a 10-piece. All right, let's go. Here we go. Start listening to Rick Ross. Oh, someone needs some wings. Someone's gotten some yum-yums. Super interesting that they're breaking out. Okay, So what is next for us when we look at something like this? Well, we just want to watch that play out and then kind of go from there. And I think that's kind of where my head is. Like, I want to watch this today for sure. Let me just drop that into my file. Anything like that that's in the consumer space that's turning around is definitely interesting. Let's go through your other names, but that's where my head is. PLTR, I can't buy these kinds of charts. I'm just going to tell you, I don't know that it doesn't work, but technically I just cannot buy a broken head and shoulders. I understand the upgrade. I understand that might even be the bottom. I get it. But here's my neckline. Left, head, right, 55 screaming down, 22 screaming down, 12 screaming down. It's like a burning building and you're going to run into it. I'm not a fireman. So I'm not saying it can't work as a trade. I shorted it yesterday, and the best thing I did was get out before I lost anything more than $1. And from there, it became real clear that if IGV rallies, that's the name. Like, if IGV rallies, this is your name. But when I look at IGV, you know, I think that's going to be your weight. I don't think the weight of PLTR is PLTR. I think the weight of PLTR is IGV, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense to you. These are all great names. I own this. We've done exceptionally well with this name. We bought the earnings. You know, it really bothers me because these names all have the same pattern. You want to see this? And I was thinking about it last night because I need a life. But I'll show you this. Oh, the hell is this? What is this? Why would you do that to me? You're taunting me because I was short this. The ghost of Christmas past. Regret. I closed that. Closed that short. I think I got out at 15. It's like, I made all the money. I got out 15. Shorted at 265. I think I closed it at like 60. I made it all. Now it's $5. It's hard being me. The problem is when you win so much. All right. Start new. Let's try it again, Boomer. Them internets. What's that look like? Right? What's that look like? All right. I won't keep you waiting. See it? See it? It's the same freaking pattern. That's what people say. When people say, oh, I'm not a pattern trader, then what do? Lose money? It doesn't get any clearer, dude. It's the same freaking thing. So when you see those, you always want to pay attention to them. You're getting the opposite pattern here, where it's getting toppy, wicky up top. I like it still, and I think that's the space. A bunch of guys were trading this yesterday and did exceptionally well with it. I have a hard time chasing things in a tape when I'm fighting the index. So I tend not to, but I saw that this one had somebody leaning on its throat. I'm wondering if it's over. It kind of looks like it's over. I've got my piercing pattern here, and maybe they finally had their fill. So this is definitely on my radar to watch today. You couldn't break the 22. Up here, that's when Bain said we're selling, you know, billions and billions of shares. So we always want to watch those. Hold on one second, guys. I just saw something that's a mistake. I set these screens up differently. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I set them up differently. Man, it's going to be a heck of a short today. I think silver's going to be a heck of a short. Crowd, I think, is guilt by association. And I don't know that it's right or wrong, but it's going to be guilt by association today. My hope with software is it just stayed up until the market opened, and I just don't think that it's going to. It just looks to me like we're just going to fade off the open, which is not really what I want. I want some kind of rallying software to short it. But I would be on the short side of that, Joe. What's up? MT. Yep. So I think what's interesting about these is, okay. So a couple things. I think anything like this that is not US based, you need to be looking at. Anything like this. Because where's China getting their metal from? Right. Like you just start thinking about it. Like it just starts to make so much sense. Like that's why certain ETFs are outperforming other ETFs, and, you know, it's going to continue. So but I 100% agree with you on that. If you are trying to get in the community, just please be patient. You know, I'm trying to get through everybody now. Ecolabs, I don't know anything about it. Chart looks fantastic. I'd probably go out longer. It's just nuts, man. Yeah, I would feel like I missed that, to be honest. You know, a lot's going on with this drink space, and I don't know why today it's down a little bit, or if I want to get involved or what I want to do. But I will show you this, and I will tell you that I do think that there is I do think that there's something to it. This cocoa, like all these names, all those drink names seem to be moving, and I'm not sure why. But you see how they're starting to roll a little bit. Now watch this. See how you got a reversal today? Watch this. What are they talking about all the time on TV right now? Walmart, Costco, right? All these names, right? Look at XLP. I was talking about this like 2 weeks ago. Well, this looks like a note from last May. But I think this is super interesting. What's up, buddy? No, I actually think NVIDIA is at huge risk for earnings, and I think people know this. I actually think NVIDIA is at an enormous risk for earnings. I am purposely not fading it pre-market, but I really want to fade it pre-market. This is probably one of the dumbest rallies that I've seen, like in the name. Like Meta is going to use NVIDIA's new chips. Like, this is the stage that we're at already, where we're just going to paint the tape with Captain Obvious news. Like, oh, you mean one of the top hyperscalers in the world is going to use the best chips in the world? Okay, I guess that's news. I mean, what else were they going to use? What else were they going to use? Like, you don't want the best chips? Like, it makes no sense that this is news if this is not news. So they're trading it up because, like, oh, it's billions, but it's always been billions. Like, what's different? So it's really what I refer to as painting the tape, and it's really bad. And it's really, really bad. So I actually think this is the first quarter. I used to write research reports for fun. I just enjoy it, and I know I have issues, but like I was going through their margins. I actually think that this is the first quarter where their margins could compress. That's why I was telling people you might want to just get on the Substack, because I'm probably going to start writing again. I don't view it that way, bro. Like I love the company. I've owned it forever. I've owned it since 23. I still have a piece of the one from 23. I'll probably never sell it, like, ever. But this is not news to me. I think that you're going to, I think you gap fill for one, but no, I don't think you run until earnings. I don't think you have a shot in hell of running to earnings. I'd like to see you just get over 195, and you have not been able to do that. So, that's really how I see it. I mean, just to be blunt, and you're talking to someone that loves the company. Like, if someone said to me, what company do I need to own forever? I'd be like, well, maybe the one that runs all of the top AI. Like DeepSeek 4 will come out this week or next week, and they'll be like, we did this with 4 hamsters and some paper clips. But realistically, they didn't. And we all know that they didn't, you know. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, they're talking, and the talks seem to have gone well. So let's see how that goes. Hopefully the talks go well. Really sick of invading other countries. It's really getting freaking old, dude. So it's like every week there's something. It's nuts. I guess everybody's sick of it too, right? Yeah, I think that's interesting. I don't think the sky's falling enough yet for people to get it yet. So I really like P-Sky long-term here, but I have a very long-term outlook on this company. And I have always said that they're going to get Warner Brothers, and everyone's like, no, they're not. I'm like, yeah, they are. I've always said that this thing with Netflix was to destroy Netflix because he hates Reid Hoffman. And this administration hates them. And they completely, utterly set them up. And Reid Hoffman walked right the freak into it. And if you look at from when they did this merger, that's all they've done. He's destroyed their capital. He's destroyed the company. And they walked right the heck into it. Like right into it. Like, okay, well, he's going to be our friend now. Okay. You know, the guy holds grudges from the 80s. So I always looked at this like, man, this is really, really dumb. I would love to buy Netflix. I don't think you can go near it because I don't think that the current administration is done playing with them. So that's my opinion of it. But I really want to own it, but I don't have to be in a hurry. You might have to be in a hurry here. So you're back to where this kind of all kicked off a year ago. I think if you have a long-term outlook and you remotely think that sporting events is something that you're going to want to watch online, and the biggest sporting event is what? What's the biggest sporting event out there? Lost connection. Yeah, let's reconnect. That might be a good idea. I look at it like you might want to watch UFC globally one day. You know, they will control UFC globally. It's not an if, it's a when. When all those other die. All right, so let's do this because you're clearly having an issue and you're having a day. So let's click off of you and we'll end you and then we'll come back to you in a minute. So that's how I see that. Give me 1 second here and then we'll get to it. But that's really how, I see it. Again, as always, you should do what you're comfortable with. But I do like that name. Let me get through this and then I'll answer your question. I just think it's guilt by association, bro. I don't think that you want to do anything here. I think that you have to realize that the amount of money that's coming out with this and what's going to happen here, it's literally like looking at the same chart over and over and over again and expecting something different. And you're not going to get something different. You're just not. So until people get that, I don't think that there's a reason to do anything there. Like at all. I truly don't. So that's where my head is with it. I think NVIDIA fades. I think NVIDIA is probably down by the end of the day. That's where my head is with it. I think that you have to look at the index. This is why I'm index sector stock, because it works. All right, it works. And so I watched everybody and that's why I was on everybody. So I was so adamant about it this morning. Like, this is where the market is. This is what's happening. And you can say it over and over again. So I was just on everybody this AM, just watch the levels from yesterday. Did you get over those? No. What are you doing? There's no reason. These are all fades. They're all setting up for perfect fades. All of them. Doesn't mean that they don't rally at some point. The PLTR news was good news, but you're fighting the index, you're fighting the sector, and all you have is the stock. Now, maybe it does work. I'm sorry, buddy. What's the right move? I mean, FRO I don't own. What do I think the right move is? I think it's very clear that these things are going a heck of a lot higher. So for me, the cleanest, like this would be one, but the cleanest one for me was this. So I own this. I mean, just point blank, I own this. And this was just like, for me coming through it, like this was just so clean to look at this and just go, all right, so I've got a straight shot to 18, like wake me up at $18. So I haven't done anything with it. I don't know about FRO. I don't know their business. I mean, maybe it's the same exact thing and that's where you want to be. I was looking at HSHP too the other day and this one's hitting all-time highs. Now this is dry shipping because you see what happened with ZIM. But like the ZIM deal is not going to go through. Like there's no way this goes through. I could be wrong, and this is from somebody that's owned the stock forever. But I just don't see it. So pardon me. So for me, looking at this, I'm wondering if that like they're on the block to be bought. If this company wants to build out, like you start looking at this name and what's happening here. I mean, broke out, fails, retest, breaks out from here. Rallies, breaks out, goes. Like, I mean, this textbook, really textbook stuff. So, breaks out, comes back, never breaks the 10. You hold that 10 retest, and then from there, it just rips. And so there's really nothing ever for you to do. Is STO the one? I don't know. To me, it seemed like the way to play this was just the VLCCs. So that's what I did. I'm not gonna be able to get through all these guys. follow me for more tech tips. What time is it? All right, I gotta go. Let me just go through this real quick. What's going on, Mon? Look at it. Look at it. I think it's a possibility that you could look at that where you go here and here, like watch. Like if we do that, yeah, I mean, could you get there? I think that there are pain points for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to break that. I don't really want to think about getting there, but could you get there? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that one's broken and that became resistance. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm watching people, like everyone's so giddy. I'm like, what frick are you giddy about? So, like these are all pain points and you're shattering all of them. And all it's doing is taking you back. And it's because like, this is where you turn, right? So like when you really come through it, I know I'd find it, but when you really come through it, like, yeah, I mean, you've hit that, what? From that date, from June 2025 on, and you look at when that is, well, why is that a pain point? Because that's when the market broke out and everyone's like, oh, I'll just buy it when it pulls back. So that becomes a pain point, right? Because guess what happened that day, Rocky? Market didn't pull back. But you hit that level, hit that level, hit that level, say it with me, hit that level, hit that level. You're not going to door long enough. Sometimes the door opens, you don't like what you get out of it. But, when you start looking at it from that standpoint, you'd want to go through these pain points. I'd probably choose that one next, which probably is what, 588? Yeah, which is where I think you're actually heading. And then you have to start kind of going through them the whole way down. But that's super interesting that that's the same one. But the big one is this. Yeah, like that's your big one. You can always go back to like these, and go like, oh, here you are, March 2020. And you can see how you fought it here, right? Couldn't get over it. And then you see them, people like, oh, these levels don't matter. They do. It's human behavior. It's fear and greed. But yeah, I do think there's something to that. I do. And I do think there's something to like where you were and where we like tried to break out, but definitely where you broke out. Like, yeah, it's definitely there 100% because everyone missed it. And then they're like, oh, now I got to pay up. And so then they bought the average. I got to pay up. So I bought the average. So what you're doing is like when you look at VWAPs, right? What you always try to do is understand like the psychology of that area. Everybody that bought here felt some type of way, right? They're like, all right, well, I think we'll push up into that. All right. So we got those crazy cats. Here, you're never going to, no one's ever going to buy a stock again. We're all going to go back. Everything's bad. He brought out the cardboard. But here it's telling you that the people that bought the breakout are still people that missed the breakout and then bought the breakout. And so I always try to get into like their heads. So they're still buying the dips, the people that bought that breakout a year ago. You don't want those people to stop buying. And that's a really big freaking level there that you really want to pay attention to. So, keep that in mind. I hope that helps. Matt is a pig. It's acting like a pig. They just went out of all those names. Look at it. Look at it. All right, I'm out here. 610 by end of day. All right, I'll take that bet. 610 close you want? All right. All right, I'll take the bet. I'll take the under. I'll take the under on it. I'll bet you a glass of Japanese whiskey if you're ever in Miami. I'll take the under. All right. See you guys. Boom, boom.